Hello, in this video I'm going to be going over 10.9 and how to use the Revolve feature in Inventor to get this drawing correct. So we're going to start out with an XY plane sketch just to get started, and using the Revolve feature allows us to cut down all the hassle of drawing this figure. So if you were to draw this without the Revolve feature, you're probably going to start at the back end or the front end and start drawing features and extruding them, and then draw another feature on that face, extrude it, draw another feature, extrude it, and it just gets tedious over time. So in order to start this out, I need to draw this middle line that I'm going to revolve over. I know that the length of my entire shape is 2.75, so I'm going to start out with that dimension. That's going to be my middle line. So I'm going to start out with 2.75. And then I need both side lengths. So I'm going to get the right side length and the left side length. So I know that if I'm at the middle line, that's half of whatever these sides are. So this right side has a 1.62 diameter. So I'm going to type into Inventor. Let me zoom out real quick so I can see this better. 1.62 divided by 2. And then I'm also going to draw a line on the front side, which is 1.37, and divide that by 2. And that's kind of going to give me the shape of what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to go ahead and rough sketch what I think this drawing is going to look like. So I'm going to draw a line coming out, and then going down, over, and then up. And then something you might notice, which I'm already noticing, is when I draw this line, there's a little black line that shows up that you could see showing up that's the same height as the first line we drew out. The reason that is because right now, if I were to draw this line, which I'm going to, I'm just going to click, it just constrained that line, and you could even see it's not green anymore. It just constrained that line to that first line. So if I dimension that first line, then the constraint on this line will change also. So it's important to note when I come down here, it's locking up on this line. I want to go a little bit further because this section is actually lower. So I don't want to lock up on that line. I want to go lower than it and then come to the right. And then when I come to right and then come back up, I'm going to be the same height as that, so I could leave that there. Come over, come down. I'm going to be the same height as my first section, so that's fine. Make sure whenever you're locking up on stuff that it's the correct thing that you're locking up on, so it's giving you the correct constraints. I'm going to go right again, and then I'm going to go up, and that's going to be our second height. Go to the right, come down a little to the first height, come right. Oh, it won't let me go right unless I zoom in, and then click, then come up a little bit. Let's see if I could lock up on the other one. If I come up, no, not really. So I'm just going to come up a little bit, make sure I don't lock up on anything, so I can put that dimension in later. And then I'm going to go to the right, come up, and I'm going to lock up with this edge right here, and then go right. Okay, now that I have the general shape, this line is definitely not right, but now that I have the general shape, I could draw what I need to. So give me 1 second. This line is the same height as that. That's lower, higher. Okay, everything's right. So then I'm going to come in here and dimension. I'm just going to start from the left and go right. So this part right here, point to point, I know is 0.146. So I'll enter that in there. And then I know point to point here is 0.62, so I'm going to go point to point and then make this 0.62. Now it's going to start moving stuff around. Don't get worried about that. If that ever happens, I could come in here and I could just click this point and drag it out because there's no constraints on anything right now. So I could move pretty much everything around to make sure it looks like what I want it to look like. Now I'm going to come in and dimension this 1.75 line, which starts here and then ends here. So it's 1.75. Then 1.46 is from here to here. and then 1.46. And then 0.81 is going to be from here to here, 0.81. And then 0.5 is from this edge to the back, it's 0.5. And then 0.25 from this edge to this edge. This might move something around where I don't want it to. There you go. And I'll just move this over a little bit so I could see it better. And then I'll look at my dimensions down here, 0.12. So this line right here is 0.12. And then I have a 2.48 going all the way back to this edge right here, and then to this point, 2.48. And now I just need to make these 0.146s typical in 3 places. So 1 right here, 2 right there, and then 3 right there. So this part right here should be 0.146, and then this part right here should be 0.146. And that's going to kind of clear everything up for us. So now we kind of have everything dimensioned correctly. Now the things that we don't have dimensioned is these lines for their heights. So the height of this second line that I drew in, because it's green still, is half of 1.18. So I need a dimension from this line to my center line, and I'm going to do 1.18 divided by 2. And that's automatically going to dimension all the lines that I drew that locked up on it. And now I'm going to dimension the second line, which is 1.12 divided by 2. 1.12 divided by 2. And that's going to dimension this other line for me. I don't have a dimension on this line, but it looks like that is going to be the same height as my 1.37. So I'm just going to come in here and dimension that to be 1.37 divided by 2. And now we're all dimensioned and we're good to revolve. So I could finish my sketch now. I could go to the revolve command. It automatically selects my object I want to revolve, and then if I hit the drop down on the revolve menu, then I have to choose an axis right here. If this isn't clicked, just click the red mouse button and it should let you choose an axis. The easiest route is just choosing the bottom line we started with, and that's going to be our axis to revolve around. And it's going to create our revolve shape. We're going to hit OK. The other things I need on this is I need a chamfer on the front. So now I could just use the chamfer command in 3D. All I have to do is select my edge, my front edge, and then type in the chamfer, which is 0.03, and hit enter. And that's going to put the chamfer on that side. And then I need a countersink hole in the back here. We have to use the hole function for this because there is no other way to get that with the circle function. So in the hole function commands, I'm going to change this to concentric because it's going to be a circle on a circle. So I'm going to place my circle first, and then it asks me for a concentric reference. So now I'm going to choose my outside circle for it to be centered on there. Now I need to change this to a countersink hole. This is the bottom hole option here. Now I'm going to change my outside diameter, my angle, and my inside diameter to match my drawing. So my outside diameter is given to me as 0.69. So I'll start that out as 0.69. And then my angle, 45 degrees. And then my inside diameter is here on my left drawing, which is 0.62. So I'm going to type in 0.62. Hit OK, and that's going to give us that hole going through this object. Now we need the holes on the sides of this, which are done with offset planes, and you could offset those planes off of your XZ, XY planes. This should have been explained in a previous video, so I'm not going to go over that in here. The main goal of this video was to show you the revolve command, and hopefully you got some good practice with that.